Welcome to Writing the Thing, the podcast where I, Shaun Kitchener, chat to writers about how they literally wrote their thing. Today, I've got one of the brains behind one of the buzziest new musicals of the last year. It's the wonderful Ellie Coote. Right, so Ellie is a bit of a superstar when it comes to musicals. She's directed, she's been a dramaturg, she's written, and her latest show is a massive smash hit. Hot Mess, for which she is the book writer and director, and Jack Godfrey wrote the music and lyrics, has had 3 openings in the space of 1 year. It launched at the Edinburgh Fringe last summer, then it played at the Southwark Playhouse a couple of months later, and right now it is a certified banger at the Other Palace. It's a two-hander, one act, and it basically envisages the relationship between Earth and humanity, or Hugh, as a love story, sort of a romantic comedy. It's had 5-star reviews in The Guardian, What's on Stage, The Stage, London Theatre, and so many others. It's also got prizes coming out of its arse. Winner of the List Festival Awards 2025, winner of the Scotsman Fringe First Award, winner of the Popcorn 2025 Writing Award, winner of Musical Theatre Review's Best Musical Award, selected for the Stage Fringe 5 2025. It's gone down very well. It's smart, funny, well written and directed, well performed. It's Danielle Steers and Morgan Gregory in it at the moment, and the songs are absolute chef's kiss. So, as I said, it's had a really incredible debut year, but the show was in the works for a long time and had a really interesting route to the stage, which I was excited to talk to Ellie about. I also asked her about the role of the book writer when you're working in partnership with a lyricist and musician. I've done a musical myself, but that was a jukebox show with pre-existing songs, so it was interesting to hear her experience of having this magical partnership with Jack Godfrey. And we also talked about how she managed to master things like pace and tone in this show. Those are 2 things that I think it does especially brilliantly. But first, I heard her saying in another interview that her love of musicals stems back to doing Amdram as a child. And as someone who did the exact same thing, I had to find out exactly what she did and who she played.
I was like obsessed with musical theatre from when I was a kid, basically from watching musical films. My dad introduced me to West Side Story and Oliver and like all the classics, Singing in the Rain. And that was really my way in before watching live theatre. And then I joined a youth theatre company called MICO, Musical Youth Company of Oxford. And what was our first show? Anything Goes.
Oh, great. School production over here. That's a great one. That's a banger.
I was a tapper back in the day. I loved a bit of tap. I was one of the angels. And then we did West Side Story, which
was one
of my all-time favorites. And then I got to play Laurie in Oklahoma. I was a top sop. Was my energy.
Amazing.
But I think my favorite show that I did was at school. Actually, we did a production of Les Mis, and I got to play Fantine, which was obviously just like a teenage girl's dream.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
To get to emote that hard when you've had no life experience.
That's great though. I know exactly what you mean, and that's so cool. What a great thing. Well, Hot Mess is absolutely fantastic. I see the Other Palace in a minute, and it's so brilliant. Lots of awards, lots of great reviews, but more importantly, like audiences are absolutely fanatical about it correctly. To the casual eye, I guess it's had like a really sort of explosive debut year, I guess. Is it 3 openings in the space of a year? That's quite cool. That's quite cool. But it's been a much longer journey, hasn't it? As with many things, as with everything. Am I right in thinking it started with a commission? Is that right? And how did that come about? How did it all start off?
Yeah, so Jack and I, who's my co-writer, he does music and lyrics.
Yeah.
We'd been working together on another show called 42 Balloons. And then Jack came up with the idea for Hot Mess, which at the time was called like Untitled Climate Change Musical.
Great.
And we had like a sort of rough outline, maybe 2 songs, and we pitched it to Beam, which is like the sort of new musical sort of festival pitching days.
Yeah.
That had been quite a big part of my journey in the first like year or so of my career, going to Beam, meeting a lot of people, meeting a lot of writers. And on the panel for our pitch, and this isn't even like having got into Beam, but this is like pitching the show to be in it, was Vicky Graham, who after that day approached us and said that she wanted to get involved, which was kind of amazing because we were pitching to Beam to get into Beam to then producer, and we managed to just like get a commission, and it was really good timing because then basically as soon as we were commissioned, lockdown happened and we had something to do, which was fantastic. And it's been a really long journey for the show. I've never worked on something that has like changed, that's like stayed true to what it was, but also like the identity and the feel and the tone of the show has changed so drastically.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Through the past, we got commissioned in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
And
wow,
it's gone through a huge development journey. And every single iteration of the show has been really wildly different. Yeah, it sort of started as a song cycle, really.
Yeah.
And we're sort of imagining it as a concept album or like a piece of gig theatre.
Right.
Which is so, I mean, stylistically in terms of the songs, they're still very, very poppy.
Yeah.
But, you know, going from kind of concept album like gig theatre vibes to what is now it's very much a book musical.
Yeah.
Despite the kind of the sound being more poppy. Yeah, it's taken us a long time to figure out that that's what it needed to be.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Do you, as someone who's like, I know you've as a writer and director, do you thrive in that kind of like habitat? Is that your natural habitat, like the workshop, the room where you're like throwing ideas at the wall and that kind of thing, or do you prefer like sitting at home with your laptop and trying it out?
Well, it's interesting because I think that coming at Hot Mess from, I was really a director and dramaturg.
Yeah.
Predominantly. And so Jack and I always talk about the fact that my natural habitat is absolutely in the rehearsal room. Like, I'm sort of, everything that I do is in service of being able to get to that place.
Right. Okay.
The most fun bit for me.
Yeah.
But I think what I've really had to learn is that while workshops can be incredibly helpful in showing you like what's working, what's not working, especially putting it in front of an audience, that like groundwork of painstakingly sitting at home by yourself writing is like a really important part of the process. And
right. Okay.
The bit that I was least comfortable with and like most afraid of, I think. And this show has forced me to find a process for writing, really.
Yeah.
And for you know, doing that work with Jack, with our dramaturg, but also just like a lot of time, me with my laptop going, is this?
Yeah. This? Yeah. No, I know what you mean. As it like opened a gate for you, like, would you want to continue, like, was that quite a new thing for you then to work like that, and would you want to continue working like that?
I mean, it totally has. I really genuinely feel like I started this process sort of thinking of myself as a writer because I'd written things before, but nothing got to the stage. I'd never really like backed myself properly as a writer.
Okay.
And I think the only way of figuring out how to write is to figure out your process, and the only way to figure out your process is to just do it.
Right.
And so now, yeah, I feel much more legit.
Oh, great. Well, no, yeah, that's so cool. In terms of like working with Jack on the music, my musical experience is just with a jukebox musical. How did it work with you two in terms of constructing this thing together? Was it like, I don't know, did you come up with like a little story together and then you go off and do this, he goes off and does that? Or is it like, are you together a lot? Like how did you actually do it?
I mean, because the show has gone through so many iterations, everything, and it started as sung through.
Yeah.
Everything has been very, very all hands on deck collaborative from the beginning.
Oh, amazing.
when we first started working on the show together, and Jack was writing the songs, but we did quite a lot of like sitting in the room together, monologuing about what these characters might be feeling. And also on 42 Balloons, that is sung through. Jack's the only writer on that, but I'm the dramaturg on that. And so we're really used to figuring out character and story together.
Yeah.
It's very much both of us doing that at the same time, as
Right.
opposed to, you know, one person coming up with story, the other person just like finding song moments, etc. It's such a back and forth. And I think that over the years we've built that trust of being able to essentially what that our sort of process is like,
Right.
up like once a week to like chat everything through in detail, going away to our separate corners, working away, and then like genuinely a lot of WhatsApp back and forth, sending each other things. I put something new in the document. Let me know what you think. Have a little phone call. Like Jack's natural habitat is definitely at home at the piano.
Right.
So giving him the space to do that and to get on with things. But constantly being in dialogue with each other. He's really taught me he's such a fast writer. He'll churn out a song like in less than a day. If you both decide that, well, it's not quite right, then he'll just be like, that's fine, I'll write something different next day, new song. Like it's very, very fast. And I think I've learned to kind of try to emulate that speed, and also learn to not be precious about something. I think if you like spend a week in intensely crafting a scene and then you send it and it's wrong, that's such a horrible feeling.
You have to just be like, okay. I tell you what's great for getting over that is I did a bit of work on a soap, and they're like the machine's moving really quickly. It's like, get over it, next one, go. And that actually moving into like musical theatre and like workshops and stuff is really handy.
And you'd rather know straight away than be like, you know, tearing your hair out over trying to fix a scene that's just ultimately not working.
Right. You spoke to it a bit there, but in terms of your partnership with Jack, what in your mind makes a great creative partnership? I mean, you had so much great success with 42 Balloons. I know you obviously work so well together. What makes a creative partnership sing?
Honesty is like a really important thing. I think you need to know that when you're constantly giving each other notes, that you're getting everything that they actually think and feel about it, and not the sort of sugar-coated version. I think that's really, really helpful. And a lot of like shared taste as well. I think Jack and I have like generally quite similar feelings about musicals, about art, about music.
Oh, great.
And when we don't align, we discuss it. Like,
yeah,
we often talk about like we are quite similar actually as people in many ways. We have a real synergy and just like who we are as people. We're both from Oxford, which I think maybe is like one thing we sort of had. There's sort of like some sort of, I don't know, similar upbringing.
Yeah, sure.
And I think sometimes that can be a little bit confronting, because the things that he finds stressful, I find stressful.
Oh, okay.
I just like looking in a mirror. This is, but yeah, and also finding the way that you communicate with each other and being really explicit about. We often have conversations of, how do you want to receive my thoughts on this?
Okay.
And when?
Yeah.
And setting those boundaries as well, because we think we have a lot of trust in each other and trusting each other's abilities, and and knowing that we'll get there together.
Yeah.
Even if it's, you know, not quite there right now.
Right. It could be quite vulnerable, can't it? Like sharing ideas and like bang stuff around. So I can imagine having that kind of partnership where you just like trust each other, and you're each doing that with each other as well. Must be really fabulous.
Yeah. Very good to take.
So so this time last year you must have been getting ready for Edinburgh, where it went down so well. How was that whole experience for you?
It was wild. I mean, we were lucky in that the show was really, really well supported. It felt like the Fringe was the right place for it, but it's also a show that had been being developed for many, many years. With lots of producing partners on board, all there, like offering a lot of support. We felt quite ready going into that rehearsal process. but also the book was like almost entirely, it was pretty much entirely new. I'd
Right.
written books for the show before, and we put it in front of audiences and then kind of scrapped it entirely. And so this version of the show hadn't been put in front of an audience
Okay.
ever.
Oh, wow.
That was really frightening.
Yeah.
Because, and I was directing as well. And so just trying to like hold everything together, hold the whole process together, but really having that niggling feeling of, because a lot of it's like, it's a comedy really. And for the most part, I was terrified, especially in Edinburgh. So much stuff that's on there is comedy. I was like, there's a chance that people aren't going to get this and they're just not going to laugh. And it's just absolutely bomb. And you just don't know. I think it's one of the hardest things to know in the rehearsal room, because you know what makes you laugh, but like you're not eliciting laughter from the room the entire time. And
no.
Process, like jokes lose their immediacy.
Yeah.
And so it was really wild to get it to Edinburgh, and the reaction to certain things I just couldn't have anticipated, which was great.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you were that nervous about it, like, I imagine that first, was it literally that first time it was in front of an audience, you were like, oh, great, or like just like a sigh of relief, like, I don't know, when was the moment you were like, oh, we're okay?
Well, actually, we had 2 previews in Birmingham, which was great to like get the show in the shape that it needed to be in.
Right.
And the audience was pretty quiet, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the energy was. Maybe it was, it was the actors' first times doing it, and like it's a really big show to hold just the 2 of them on stage. And my jokes were not landing at all. And I really panicked, and I spoke to our dramaturg, Dee, and she said, like, this happens in these early previews. For Edinburgh, hold your nerve.
Right.
Like, do I need to rewrite every single thing in the show?
Yeah.
It's like, hold your nerve. And I'm so glad that she had the experience and sort of wisdom to reassure me there, because it completely shifted. Like the first show in Edinburgh was completely different.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
How exciting. It's mad. I've only done like, we've done like that. This is like the 7th or 8th interview I've done for these podcasts. And it's amazing the amount of writers have got that. And you must have given it yourself as a dramaturg, have got that, like not reassurance, but like that guidance from a dramaturg, or permission from a dramaturg to be like, no, hold your nerve, resist, resist. That must be quite, I don't know, what's that like for you, having been a dramaturg yourself?
It was the first time that I had a dramaturg for my own work, and a dramaturg. And I genuinely, like, within like a couple of months of working with Dee, I was like, gosh, the job I do is so important. Like, seeing it from the side, I was like, being able to just like put my trust in somebody and feel like I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
And be able to run anything past them. It gave me a whole new appreciation for it. Because I had sort of been spouting on for years about how important dramaturgy is in new musicals in particular. And I hadn't really like experienced it firsthand as a writer. It's absolutely indispensable. I don't think I'd ever write anything now without having someone in that capacity.
Oh God, no. So this version that's on at the Other Palace now, is it am I right in thinking it's slightly expanded, slightly sort of height of its powers version? What was it like getting back into the kitchen and reworking something that you knew was a hit? Like, you knew you had a hit, now you've got like the opportunity to expand on it a bit more. What was that process like for you?
It all happened quite organically, actually. I think that like we knew that we wanted it to be longer, because you only wrote it as an hour-long show because we were taking it to the Fringe. None of the iterations beforehand had been as tight as that. And I think it was a really useful exercise in, how condensed can this story be? But we always knew that it needed a little bit more breathing room. And we tried not to think about how long we actually wanted it to be.
Okay, yeah.
Tried to just feel like, where are the places that need a bit more breathing room? Where do we want to like just dig into these characters a little bit more? And so it all kind of happened quite organically. We had a debrief process at the end of the Southwark version before we knew the other palace was happening, just to kind of get our brains in gear of like, if it happens again, if we're going to a bigger venue, what would we want to do? Obviously, like some of the things that we said, I wrote like a really meticulous document about what exactly we were going to change. Some of those things we did, and some of those things we entirely forgot about.
Right, yeah.
Once we got into the writing process. But it was a bit frightening to go, I just hope I'm not making this worse somehow.
Right, okay.
I'm not accidentally like unpicking things that were actually working before. But yeah, it was quite a quick turnaround. I mean, from getting it confirmed that it was happening at the other palace to actually putting it on stage, the sort of design process, writing process, casting process was all happening kind of like concurrently.
Yeah.
Which is not a way that I think I would ever choose to work again.
Okay.
It was really, really stressful.
Right. Yeah. That's an experience.
I can't do all these things at the same time. That's just like insane. But it also, like, you know, the team had already done the show before. We already understood what we loved about it, and we already understood like where we felt like it wanted to go. And so at least everything that was happening was like moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit of a scramble. It was a bit of a scramble.
Right. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Even in, obviously I didn't see it in its hour version, but even in this form, it feels so tight and the pacing is so good and all the beats feel like they hit so well. And I find that really hard in musical form to like not overwrite and be as economical and all that kind of stuff. Does that come, maybe the dramaturgical and directorial side of your brain comes in handy here as well, but does that come quite naturally to you, or was that something that you had to sort of get to grips with?
Yeah, I do think it is my natural deep disposition. I have like running joke with my creative team, my friend Joe, who's the musical supervisor. Every single review that's ever been written about my work is always says something about pace.
Oh, wow.
It's been that way since I was at uni. I sort of started to get a bit I don't know, like a bit insecure about it for a while.
Oh, wow.
God, the only thing anyone ever says about my work is like sometimes like lines like breakneck speed, unrelenting pace, and I'm like, oh gosh, I guess I do have a style. And I think that actually, like, yeah, that is something that I like as an element of my work, and I like it in other work as well. Like, like things that just like really move. And the thing that I actually have to, it's actually something I find myself having to work against, is going, where are the spaces where we need a bit of air, and where can we just like sit and trust the audience for a minute? Because I'm constantly going, they're bored, move on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think I sort of have the opposite thing. Often.
Oh, that's great though. I mean, can I have your brain? That's such a great thing to have. And you're right, like in this in this show in particular, like, because like when I say the pace is amazing, I don't mean you're rushing through it at all. Like those moments of stillness and where the more emotional beats and work so well because of how the whole thing's been, the tapestry of the whole thing is so good. It's so cool. Climate change feels like such a scary big thing to tackle on stage, but this show feels like it proves there is a really clever original way of doing it where you also don't feel like you're whacking people over the head with a message. You said earlier that this show had been through a few different like sort of tones and flavors and things like that. How did you find the experience of approaching something that sounds so broad and hard to tackle, but doing it so originally and cleverly?
Yeah, I think we always knew that tone would be the thing. That would be the thing to nail. And we've talked for years about not wanting it to be preachy, that we're not that we're there to allow audiences to have a space to feel things about the climate crisis, to like feel catharsis, that it's all in service of like giving people a new way of feeling and thinking about it, as opposed to like direct action. That's not really what the piece is doing.
Okay.
And so we definitely knew that would be the thing, but I think doing it in practice, we struggled with it for a long time because we felt a little bit like how funny are we allowed to be? Like, how absurd are we allowed to be, without it feeling like it's undermining the subject matter? And people
Okay.
were a little bit afraid of it. A lot of our earlier versions, we kept trying to write these songs for the end that were sort of like somehow delivering a final hopeful message, because it was so stuck in the thing of like musical theater has like, all musicals have like a little like glimmer of hope at the end, no matter how dark it gets. Like, that's the turn, that's what happens. And everything just sounded so disingenuous.
Right.
That I was like, I don't feel energized by this at all. I don't feel like it just didn't feel real.
Okay.
And so honestly, I think one of the biggest unlockings for us is just finding a way to add energy to the end of the show without and holding a sense of like, you know, the repercussions of our actions.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Hopefully a tiny bit of like hope somehow kind of like ironically mixed in there, without it being, this is what you now have to do and everything's going to be great if you just do this. Like, sure. It just never felt right. But it took us a really long time to get there. And I think the more we started playing with tone, the more we realized that actually, like, anyone can talk about the climate crisis in whatever way they want to. It's something that wants to be kind of discussed in many different ways and in many different tones and in many different stories. So yeah, we knew it from the beginning, but like actually doing it was really hard.
Well, it doesn't just tackle that issue. It's the fact it tackles that issue well, but it's also quite inspiring, I think, in the way it does tackle that issue well, because like I know talked to so many writers about like, I just don't know how to address something like that, and this I think proves that there is a really fun, interesting, thought-provoking, gives you plenty to talk about on the tube on the way home, get songs in your head kind of thing way to talk about it. It's just so good. It's just so good. Well done. Thank you so much for doing this. Just the last question, what was the last thing you saw that you were like, God damn, I wish I came up with that?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question.
Any medium, like
yeah. Oh, the show that's like in my head loads at the minute is Hacks.
Yes.
And I think less so like I wish I came up with that, but more so I'm like, I wish I like was able to write those two central characters.
Yeah.
That knotty, complex, funny relationship.
Yeah.
Like, just like an absolute dream, and they're so real. And actually Hacks talks about the climate crisis really well.
Yes. We just saw the one last night where there's the amazing like AI monologue, and like in the final season I can't remember what the character's name is, but yeah, so good in it.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much, Ellie, for being so insightful and generous with your time and wisdom. Hot Mess is on at the Other Palace until September the 6th, and I do physically require you to see it. It's so good. Okay, I'll wrap up as per with a recommendation from me, and I have to say the musical Pride, which is on the National Theatre. I think it's completely sold out, but keep an eye on those returns. Steal, commit identity fraud of someone that's got a ticket if you have to. It's worth the jail time. It's one of the best screen to stage musical adaptations I think I've probably ever seen. It's so funny and alive and moving, and also highly gay, obviously. I think it's on for the next few weeks, again sold out, but I mean, do your best. And it'll be back at some point. It's just brilliant. Well, that's it for this time. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Writing the Thing.